Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Continue to take a look at next Saturday's slate. A very intriguing matchup as Texas A&M heads on the road to play Tennessee coming off a bye week. And I think what's most interesting about this game is that I think both of these programs are playing their best football right now. Texas A&M, I get a tough loss at home against Alabama. Rewatching that game this morning, there's a lot of really good things to take away from that game, especially with the young cats on the defensive side of the ball that are stepping up the way they are. And then you look at Tennessee, a tough road loss against Florida, but this is a team that is starting to find their rhythm on offense and on the defensive side of the ball. They're playing really, really good football. Excited to get into this kind of a few numbers and key matchups. Want to get into before we do. Just want to say thank you to you guys. The support that you guys have shown the boys for all these game breakdowns. It's truly been amazing. Can't thank you guys enough for rocking with the fellas. So if you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. But more importantly, best part about doing this, talking ball with you guys in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts, picks, predictions, players to watch there. We'll chop it up. Appreciate y'all rocking with us. And let's get into this. And I want to start with this Tennessee offense. I have a few kind of talking points and kind of some things that I've noticed from this Tennessee team from watching some games back and looking at the numbers. One, Tennessee wants to run the football, and they're really good at doing it, right? I mean, Tennessee, you ask a casual college football fan and say, hey, tell me how you think this Tennessee offense operates. Let's say we're spread it out, they throw the football a lot. Tennessee's running the football 53% of their snaps, and they're doing a phenomenal job doing it 6 yards per carry. Jalen Wright, Jabari Small, really running well. And you're seeing as they get healthy on that offensive line, that rushing attack is really playing a large role in this offense and taking a lot of pressure off of Joe Milton. Now, getting to the passing attack, one of the biggest things that I noticed, and I looked at the numbers and they kind of back it up, Tennessee not as explosive through the air. Right. Last year, Hendon Hooker, 10.5 yards per attempt. That was one of the top in the country. You look at Joe Milton in this Tennessee offense right now, only averaging 7.5 yards per pass attempt. That's 78. So they're not really hitting the explosive chunk plays like you saw this Tennessee offense do last year. I wonder if Dante Thornton coming back is going to help, right? Losing Brew McCoy, that's brutal. Really, really do feel bad because he was playing some really good football. You have Squirrel Wright. You have Keaton. Dante Thornton is a guy that really big frame, elite speed, can really stretch the field. I wonder if Dante Thornton being inserted into this offense can lead to a little bit more explosive plays that we're seeing from this Tennessee team. And the thing that I'm looking at specifically with the matchup against Texas A&M, and Texas A&M fans can certainly agree with this, is where has Texas A&M struggled on the defensive side of the ball? That is in the secondary, especially with the busted coverages and kind of blown assignments in the back end. I mean, Jalen Milroe threw for 321 yards against this Aggies defense. And I'll tell you what, it was not because of the pass rush. And who is really good at exploiting a kind of undisciplined secondary? It's the Tennessee Volunteers and Josh Heupel, right? And so the thing I'm looking for the most is, can Josh Heupel, coming off a bye week, scheme some big plays up where Texas A&M, he kind of forced them to kind of bust the coverage, blow an assignment. That's what I'm looking for the most. Now, Texas A&M on the defensive side of the ball has been elite in the front seven. Like, Tennessee wants to run the football, averaging 6 yards per carry. Well, Texas A&M's front seven only allowing 2.6 yards per carry. What's more impressive, 15% sack rate. Number one in the country. I mean, you're seeing guys like Shamar Turner, Shamar Stewart, Walter Nolan, McKinley Jackson, Fidel Diggs. This is a loaded front seven. I think arguably the best front seven that you see across the country. Tennessee's going to have to lean on Joe Milton because it is going to be tough sledding running this football. And when you're a Texas A&M fan looking at this team, how do you beat Tennessee? You're trying to get after Joe Milton, kind of put him off his spot, force him into some of those turnover-worthy plays, and capitalize on it. That's kind of the matchup here. Josh Heupel scheming against DJ Durkin in the back end, and can DJ Durkin scheme up some blitzes to get Joe Milton off his game a little bit and off his spot? Now, flipping sides, again, talk to a casual college football fan. Tell me about this Tennessee team. Yeah, really good offense, not so good of a defense. Couldn't be less of the case this year. I mean, this is a Tennessee team, 19 points per game, top 25 in the country, really good against the run, only 3.3 yards per carry. That's 28th in the country. Where I think Texas A&M and kind of the story of this game is Tennessee in the secondary giving up a high completion percentage, 68%, but not giving up the explosive play. Only 5.6 yards per pass. So teams are getting to complete passes. They're not being able to push the ball down the field like they want to. That's kind of how Tennessee wants to play defense, right? We're going to play a little bend but don't break. They're going to let you have that stuff underneath. Can you do that 12 plays, 80 yards, and score a touchdown? That's the question. Tennessee also been phenomenal in the pass rush. I mean, James Pierce, Tyler Barron, one of the better edge rushing duos that you see in the country, both having a 20% plus pass rush win rate, which is absolutely phenomenal. You look at this Texas A&M offense, and I think the story is I like this offense. I think it's starting to run. Max Johnson makes some really high level throws, and I get consistency. It's got to be there. Can't be turning the ball over like Max Johnson has. That being said, Evan Stewart, Nia Smith, Moose Muhammad being inserted. Like this offense has some playmaking ability. And the big question I'm looking at is one, can they get that running game going? Because I think Texas A&M's at their best when they can run the football. They couldn't against Alabama. Tennessee's been good against the run. And then second, can you hit those explosive plays? And can you score in the red zone? Right? Those are the two things. Field goals and punts are not going to win you a game on the road at Tennessee. I mean, Jimbo Fisher punting tie game in the third quarter, 17-17 from the Alabama 45. It's 4th and 1, and Jimbo Fisher decides to punt. He can't do that on the road against Tennessee and expect to win this game. I like this offense. He's got to trust this offense to go score points. And when they do get into the red zone, they got to be scoring touchdowns because, again, field goals are not going to win this football game. The pick here. Texas A&M coming in 3.5-point dogs on the road. And I really do like this Texas A&M team. And I could see both sides of it, right? I could see someone saying, hey, Texas A&M on the defensive side of the ball, they're going to get after Joe Milton, force him into some turnovers, and win this game on the road. I could also see someone making the argument, Josh Heupel coming off a bye week, 2 weeks to prepare for this Texas A&M defense, a vulnerable secondary in the back end. Josh Heupel is going to have some plays schemed up, hit some explosive plays, and win this game at home. I'm going to put I'm going to lean Tennessee kind of finding some explosive plays through I think this game one is going to be really close, and I could see both of these things happening. My biggest concern is Josh Heupel finding those explosive plays through a Texas A&M secondary that really does struggle. This is certainly not a game I'm rushing to the window to bet, but if I were to lean, it's Tennessee coming off a bye week, hitting some explosive plays, having some really good offensive plays schemed up, and winning this one at home. But it's going to be a really, really good game. And again, you talk about some of the top teams in the SEC that could be competing for a conference title. Both of these teams are at the top of the list. Really excited for this one. Appreciate you guys rocking with the boys again. If you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.